So I woke up this morning with just a sentence in my head, and it was this. It was, don't rest your donors like a steak. Don't let them sit. Don't leave them alone because they gave a gift at year end and don't ask again until summer. Don't do that. I did try to cook a steak last night. I hadn't tried to cook a steak before in my life, and it was horrible. So that's kind of where the steak came from. But we finished year end. You got your gifts. You still got a trickle coming in. What do you do now? How quickly do you report? How do you think? How many times do you think? When do you ask again? These are very important questions, and they're very fundamental, and I know they seem basic, but sometimes it's the basic stuff that I find most nonprofits don't have optimized, so there's holes in their strategy. So let's go over that. I'm going to show you a few real life examples in terms of gifts that I've given and how long the follow-up took, and did they ask me again, did they not? So I'm going to show you that, and I think you'll just take home some practical tips that will help you in your annual planning as you look at this next year. So let's talk the rule of seven. Rules of seven. Rules of seven? The rule of seven. 7 is golden. Typically, when it comes to acquiring new donors, you need at least 6 to 7 touch points, whether it's, digitally, text, whatever, but you need to be in front of people at least 6 to 7 times. In terms of thanking donors, that same rule applies. You want at least 6 to 7 modes of communication that thank them directly for their gift. And so this to me has always been a little mind-boggling. Like, I can't even touch base with my family 7 times in a month. How am I supposed to do that with a donor? So this is what I would recommend. You've got your immediate thank you receipt, which I'm sure you've already sent. You've got a phone call. I would have volunteers make phone calls for you, give them a script, and have them call people. I would make sure you call the bigger donors, but phone calls. Then we have a thank you letter. And again, I like to get volunteers together. I give them a script. I have them sign my name. I think that's ethical. It's in their handwriting, but I need thank you letters going out. Something I do want to mention, this is really, really helpful for major donors, mid-level donors, or everyone. If you could get some art, if you have beneficiaries that make art, let's say you work with kids, you work with children in Africa, if you can get an piece of artwork, you could even just make photocopies of it, but put that piece of artwork in the thank you note so that you can say, hey, thanks for your gift. You're gonna help a child just like this. And that way they have something that they're seeing. It's something different than what they would normally get in a thank you card. And again, you could photocopy them if you want to do it at scale. You've got the receipt that goes out automatically from your accounting department. If you could put some personal language on there or somehow do something on the outer envelope, but personalize it, make it look like a human touched it and thank them. So you've got the tax receipt. Another thing you can do is I would definitely take your postal donors, get their email addresses if you have them. I always put that on the reply card, by the way. I'll ask for their email address and say, so I can thank you. So send an email to all your donors thanking them. You can give them a short video that thanks them from the ED. So send that. I think that's number 5. Number 6 would be if you do mailed newsletters. Those are very, very profitable to do a couple stories of impact and a soft ask at the end with a need. If you send those out, you obviously want to include your donors. And so that's a 6th touch point. And it's a soft ask, but that's very much appropriate because you've already thanked them so many times. And when they read about all the good work that they've done, they want to give again. You want to make it, your donors give when they want to give, regardless of trends. So you want to make it easy for them to give. And then the 7th way, I like to do something video. If you could text a short video is a way to get personal and make it feel one-to-one, or sending a video from your beneficiaries is really powerful. So those are your ways to thank. And to be honest, if you get half of those, you're doing better than most of the nonprofits, because nonprofits just don't think. They don't even think they're major donors. So, and then ultimately, I know there's been research done by Adrienne Sargent, and I think 5 of the 8 reasons why people lapsed could have all been fixed by really solid cultivation. So you can plug the leak. Donors don't have to be leaving at the rate they're leaving if you were to do these things and implement them well. So this gets us to the question, when can you ask for a gift again? Well, I already told you, don't rest them like a steak. Don't wait 3 months to ask. You can ask again as often as you can thank and report. So if you can do, 5 of those 7 thank you touch points and report on the impact of their giving, you can ask the next month. Those first 90 days, it's been proven, those first 90 days are most important in terms of engaging that donor and keeping them as part of your donor file. Or donor family, however you want to say it. I always mention the state where the likelihood of getting a second gift from a first-time donor went down after 45 days. A company called Amphil, they partnered with Next After, and they became a new donor. This was back in 2022, I think, and they donated to they tried to donate to 147 organizations. I think 130 was the ones they could donate to because there was stuff broken. So check your donation pages, check your automations. I got to check it all the time because stuff breaks left and right. I kill zaps. I don't know, I've got bad luck with zaps, but check your automations. Now, they donated to 130, and they found that for the nonprofits that they sent in mail checks to, Only 4 nonprofits thank them. Your postal donors are the ones, if you can get someone to give online and via mail, they're worth 3 times more. And postal donors are normally the ones that are giving through DAFs. So I know you have automation set up for your online donors, but I want to make sure you've got a good cultivation process. The other thing too is half of the nonprofits included a link to follow them on social media in their appeals. Don't do that. Again, one call to action. You want them to give you a gift more than you want them to follow you on social media, okay? So that's that. I'm gonna walk you through a couple emails I've gotten from nonprofits. I'm gonna show you when I got the first email, how they followed up with me as a first-time donor, and we'll just look at it together. My friends from OUR, they thank me in a very jargon-filled way for my gift to help children of the Underground Railroad. They say you're going to help us empower. It wasn't signed by anyone. It felt very organization-centric. So I'm not a big fan of this particular thank you email. It also has a big header at the top. It's not very personal. How could we have made it better? At least they said Dear Danielle Wallace, but I do feel like they put in my first and last name. Just say Dear Danielle. Thank you. They thanked me right away. Say I am grateful instead of we. Don't speak in the plural. Because of donors like you, we're able to empower law enforcement and aftercare alliances. They're starting to use more jargon. I would simplify that, make it easy to read to a 5th grader, and then tell me a really short story or a quote from someone they've helped. Sign it from the ED. Let me know what to expect in the coming days. And so basically what you'll see is I didn't hear from them again. I got 0 cultivation content, and I was asked again on September 13th. There was nothing in between there except an invitation to a Q&A hot seat, and I have no idea what that was about. So there was no cultivation. There was no story of how my gift was used. I don't even know if it helped. I didn't get a phone call. I didn't get a text. I haven't gotten any direct mail. They could be milking me for a lot more money. All they got to do is show me a story of a young girl who needs my help, and I would give right away. So they're missing a lot. They're leaving a lot of money on the table. Now let's look at one other one about International Justice Mission. So I gave in August. I didn't hear again until November. What in the world? Ask me for more money. Tell me what my gift did. They gave me a transactional receipt. They had a really lovely picture at the top of that receipt. I'll show you. And they had some good language, but it was transactional. They should have followed that up. So that would have been fine as a transactional receipt because it showed up immediately. They should have sent me a follow-up email from the ED saying, you know, your gift is meaningful. This is what you're going to do. You're going to hear from us this month showing you stories of what your gift has made possible. Email me anytime. Anytime you can humanize the relationship, that's always good. So I do love it when nonprofits will ask you if you want, reach out. We'd love to hear from you. So I could have heard from them, but I haven't. No mail, no phone call, no text, just that. Now what I do get in November is really good. You know, it says like, you're important to us. We've made something for you. You know, treat your nonprofit like you would a for-profit. Give your donors something. It's not transactional because you're giving them something that's going to resonate with them and mean something. So your gift is simply deepening the relationship. So anyways, the language in that email, it's a little bit too we in the plural, speak one-to-one. But anyways, it's decent. It just should have arrived literally within a week and a half, or I should have gotten put into a welcome sequence, and then I should have been stewarded and then asked again. So all that to say, you've got your year-end gifts. Try to get some volunteers helping you. Thank as well, and in as many different modes of communication as you can. Follow up with some reporting and ask again. You will be surprised at how many gifts you get in response, and your retention is going to go up. Once you get that second gift is what's most important in terms of increasing lifetime value, dictating your retention. You want a second gift. And so anyways, I will update you on the results of my chaotic and not really exciting, but my chaotic year end. I'll update you on numbers. I still am doing the breakdown of my own numbers, but I'll let you know. I think we're going to be okay. So I'll let you know in updates. If you have any questions for me, like I need to know what your nonprofit needs. So I have an answer for Christy, my friend Christy Russell. She's fabulous. She's a strategic consultant that works with nonprofits because I help you raise money, but then if there's not good organization, it doesn't really matter because no one knows where the money is. So Christy's phenomenal with strategic planning, getting organized. Check her website out. But she asked me a question: how do you deal with segmentation when you're a small nonprofit? I literally make it the most basic as I can. In my email platform, I will always send to non-donors and donors. I make sure communications are different. Don't thank your non-donors for giving if they didn't give. So make sure when you send cultivation pieces, you can tweak them for your non-donors and simply give it to them as an update, and then take that update, tweak it, and thank your donors. So that's how I segment that. For your major donors, when you're mailing reports or updates, include a cover letter signed by the director. Also use a larger envelope, use a first-class stamp. Those are ways to increase the TLC the major donors get. Make sure you have people tagged as well that are monthly givers, because they're going to be getting more frequent updates most likely, and steward it a little bit differently than your once a year major donor or twice a year major donor. So as you get people donating online, make sure you're tagging those who are monthly, those who are majors, those who are not donors. You have gifts come in the mail, get them in your email database and flag them, so that's kind of your home base for segmentation. And then the other thing I wanted to mention is when you think about active donors, it's donors who have donated in the last 12 months. Once you hit the 13th month mark, the likelihood of a gift goes way down. So treat those donations that come in within 12 months, those are your active donors. Those are who you're going to focus heavily on cultivating. And those who donated, 18, 24 months ago, include them in communications, but don't be thanking them necessarily for their gift. Just be reporting. So my name's Danielle Wallace. I'm the owner of Grow Better. I help small to mid-sized nonprofits optimize their fundraising results. We do a lot better than what I do with my tree. The lights went out. They need to be fixed. That's not a reflection of the work that I do with nonprofits. I'm just too tired to fix it. So I help you optimize your fundraising approach. We take a global look at all you're doing, see what we can fix immediately, and then we go in once we've made you some money and we try to see where are the holes, where can we patch them, where can we fix them, and redo your system so that you keep your donors, bring more donors in, and it's just a really fruitful cycle for you and for your beneficiaries. So if you're interested, there's a link in my bio. I'd love to help you. Thank you for hanging out with me, and really, there's plenty of information on the internet. I know that, and I know you can search. So I want to put content together that helps you. Let me know what you want. I'll condense it, bam, in a 10-minute video, and it'll save you a couple hours. So just let me know, what are you needing? But anyways, I'll talk to you next week.